Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Gina.
We have all three of us today. We're going to recap New Jersey. Season 14, episode number 6.
Mm-hmm.
So we start out with Antonia makes a call home, and she's decided that her is going to be business management. And Melissa's like, oh, maybe we could franchise a little envy shop and have more envies.
Which I'm sure is the plan, but she played it off like that's not what she wants to do.
Yeah, which is okay.
Why would you go to school for 4 years to do something you could have done without an education? Your mother could have just given it to you.
That's true.
You need the education. These kids need an education. They need to leave home. They need to see how it is for other people. I think there's nothing wrong with an education.
No,
well, the thing is, she's going to need an education if that's not her end game. Because you can't do anything without a college degree anymore.
It's hard.
Not like when we were younger.
Except the trades. I worked in human resource management for 45 years. People should never push their kids to go to school if they really don't have it. There's such a shortage of people in the trades right now.
Yes.
And number one, electrician.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have no idea. We know so many kids waiting to get into the vocational program for electrical.
Yeah.
It's such a big, it's a big thing around here. Kids going for that, which is great.
Yeah. You can walk out of those trade schools making 40 to 60,000 a year, and that's just apprenticeship, and then
and then you get into a union, right? And no college debt. That's right.
debt.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, definitely don't push your kids, but if you have the means and they're good in school, go to school, go to college, because it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Because the schools will make sure that you can afford it.
Yeah, that's true.
They have a lot of money at their disposal.
They do.
So then Melissa's telling Joe about the Boujie Brunch and how Danielle is finally realizing that they set her up. And, we knew this all, and Joe knew it all from the beginning. But we're glad to see that Danielle's finally coming to the realization.
Yeah.
And Jackie is saying that she feels the energy between Teresa and Jen is much lighter than between Melissa and Margaret, which is just all bullshit. I mean,
it's complete bullshit. There's no good energy coming out of Teresa ever anywhere.
No.
She's so fake. She is so fake. Did you see her on Watch What Happens Live last night?
Yes.
I
Unfortunately, I pushed myself to watch it because I wanted to see if he questioned her about the bloggers, and he did it at the very end.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
When she just brushed it off, and they let the show was over.
Yes, I have that towards the end. We're going to talk about Watch What Happens Live when we get towards the end. But I watched that as well because I wanted to see. First of all, when we get to it, we'll talk about it. I'm not going to bring it up now, because I can go off
too. To go in order.
I do. I like to go in order. Then Rachel's on the phone with Margaret, and Margaret's in Charleston, South Carolina, celebrating a friend's 60th birthday, which is very nice.
Yes, yeah.
Rachel's telling Margaret what happened at the brunch, and Margaret is saying how Louis isn't he unemployed, and mooches off of her because talking about how Teresa said that John parks cars for a living. He's a parking attendant, which even if he was, yes, he does.
And listen, if he did park cars and could afford that big fucking house, good for him.
Right.
Our cousin used to park cars in Atlantic City. There's big money in that.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with valeting. There's nothing wrong with it. Then Delores is out with Pauly, and they're at the restaurant, and she's telling him about the Boujie Brunch and how they were talking about Frank and Brittany getting engaged. And then here's the name of the two new people that we really don't know anything about. Tiffany and Kayla ask her if, doesn't she want the big thing? Like, don't you want the wedding? And Delores says, there's no reason to talk about it until Pauly gets his divorce. And then she says to him, explain to me, why is it taking so long? And I'll be honest, I was not happy with his answer. I really wasn't. I thought he was aggressive.
I feel like we saw a different side of Pauly last night.
I was not. To me, in my head, I'm going, why is Delores putting up with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, David was so far in the opposite spectrum. He was so quiet. I mean, David was not for her. But, you know what? No, Pauly's got to go. Paulie's got to go.
I feel like we definitely saw a different side of him. It's almost like a Louis, where it's like, is he putting on the calm show for the camera, and this is really who he is?
And that's the thing. When you're doing a reality show, you should always be thinking, what could happen if I say this?
Right.
And why would he want to humiliate Delores? Because that was pretty humiliating when he said, what do you expect me to get down on my knee the day after I get divorced? I mean, why wasn't he thinking the cameras are on? He could have said that to her later. He didn't have to say it to her in front of the cameras.
No. And that wasn't even the worst thing he said, because then he went on to say, like, well, listen, if you don't want to wait and you think you've got something better, then go get it. Like, that I think was even worse.
Yeah.
You know? Like, whoa. I don't know. I was very disappointed when Pauly said that. He did not win any points in my book.
I've had a feeling since he came on the show, like, is he a clout chaser like Louis? Like, did he seek her out?
I did a deep dive on Pauly.
Okay.
And to see if he listed a brothel on LinkedIn and stuff.
Hey, these are important things. I don't think you'd put that on LinkedIn, though.
Right? But
how amazing would it be if it was on there?
His name is a fairly common name.
Right.
In Ireland. But I did find one in the Fort Lee area that is owned he's an electrician, and he owns an electrical contracting company. That's big money. Our cousin who lives in California had the same type of business. Big money. And he's working outside of New York. Yeah.
Yeah, because he could have all commercial deals.
Yeah. And that's why I didn't understand, and we'll talk about it later, where he was talking about leaving New York and working with Delores and flipping houses.
Yeah.
Right. Because he does say that when he's out with the guys. We'll get there. Then Danielle's getting ready for the New York Fashion Week show, and she's really nervous, because it's the next day. This is the day before. And she talks about how she didn't invite her dad because, one, they're not on speaking terms, and two, that is not the place for him to be if they haven't spoken. And I agree with that. Like, that would have not been the first place to invite him to. But she does have her godmother there, and she does have Melissa going, which, she's got some support, which is good. And I'm sure her friends were there because she had her friends' daughters walking. Then they all go to the fundraiser that that Margaret's doing, Clubs for a Cause. That
was cute. I like their little outfits.
It was cute. I thought it was weird that they were all in green and Margaret was in pink.
She changed at the end. Right at the end. She had the green on.
Oh, she did? And she changed into the pink?
Margaret had the pink on through the whole thing, and then one of the last scenes at the golf course was her in green.
Oh, I missed the green.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. I
mean, maybe because it's her company. She wanted to stand out. It's her company. Because they were handing out Soirée.
Yeah, which I thought was good. And,
so cute.
A good cause. And then the boys were doing their golf thing. I will say that when they were sitting on the grass and they were talking, listen, even the skinniest of skinny person should never be filmed sitting on the grass.
No, I agree.
I mean, I don't know if you noticed, because Melissa is the skinniest of the skinniest. She's like adjusting her shirt and pulling in her stomach. I mean, there's no way in hell I'd let you film me sitting on the grass.
No.
I'm like, what the hell were they thinking?
No. Either pull up some chairs or I'm standing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or leave me in the damn golf cart.
Yeah,
how about the guys
easily done that?
How about when the guys were taking the swings out of Joe Benigno and Fuda's ass?
Oh my God,
that was.
And Fuda's like, I've already been accused of shoving things in my ass.
He has such a good sense of humor about everything.
They all do, and that's why I love the scenes with the guys. Like, obviously, except Louis, and maybe now even Pauly. But those four, who was it? It was Joe and John, and who was it? Nate? No,
it was Joe Benigno, Joe Gorga,
Pauly,
and Pauly.
Oh, Pauly was there. That's
Pauly.
Right.
Yeah,
because
Pauly was there.
When he pulled up, Margaret goes, "Oh, the only one who really knows how to golf."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's right. All right, Pauly. So he wasn't bad in that scene.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. So in the midst of this going on, then all of a sudden we see Jen Fessler's meeting up with Jen Aiden for lunch in the midst of, because they weren't obviously invited to help with this.
Right.
That margarita for two, please. Come on. What are you, 11th grade?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
So then they switch back and they go back to the girls talking. Melissa's telling them about her housewarming party and that she invited Jen Aiden to her house since they buried the hatchet, and she can't not invite her at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because she said she's going to move forward, and she is. Then Jen Aiden goes on to tell at the brunch, she's telling Jen Fessler that Danielle brought it up again about how they set her up, because Jen Fessler wasn't at that Boujie Brunch.
That's right. Her and Margaret weren't there.
Right. So she was filling her in as to what had happened there.
Right.
Then Dolores is with the girls, and she's telling them how people are giving her a hard time about Pauly and the divorce. And then Paul is talking to the guys, and this is when he brings up that he's moving his company, his office to New Jersey, and that him and Dolores are going to set up business together. And Joe Gorga's like, listen, I've known Dolores since I was 5 years old. Like, she wants to be driving around in her Bentley. She does not want to be going into business with you. She wants you out making the money. And I agree with that.
Yeah. And listen, she does enough charity work.
Yes.
I mean, she does have a job doing all that shit.
She's already flipping houses with Frank and Tanya. That's why he's saying this, because he doesn't want her flipping houses with Frank anymore.
Right. Right.
Because that's what they've been doing since...
probably the first season she came on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened to her gym. Have we looked that up? Does she still have the gym?
I was thinking the same thing.
Because she had the gym.
She's not one for self-promotion.
No.
No, she's not.
And she had a partner, so maybe,
Maybe she just bowed out of it.
Yeah. Or she's just a silent partner.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I mean, that was the first season that Teresa got out of jail that we saw that gym.
Yeah.
Because I remember them going there for Teresa to teach them all a yoga class that she learned in prison.
Could Frank get his law license back?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Especially now that he owns a weed company. Absolutely not.
Oh, right.
Yeah. No, there's no way. I mean, and who needs it? You own a weed company. You're set.
Does he own it, or is he a spokesperson for it?
No, he owns it.
I think it's his.
Nice.
I mean, he's got partners.
Yeah.
But he's definitely the face of it, and it's his company.
Nice.
Yep.
What else? Then Jen Fessler's saying that she's glad that Teresa's taking accountability for what she said about John Fuda. She didn't.
Not.
No, she didn't take accountability.
They're so fucking stupid, these women.
I know.
No, we'll get to that later. But Jen is so far up her butt, she can't see what's going on.
Yeah,
and that's the problem: is that Jen Aiden is not her own person in this whole thing. She just is Teresa's minion.
Exactly, and I said it before.
From season 1 that she was on, she was up Teresa's butt after a few episodes because she knew that was the only person that she could get under their wing. Because remember the first time we were introduced, she was talking how her house has the best view ever, and she's got
16
bathrooms.
16 bathrooms. Yes.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. She figured if I follow Teresa and do whatever she says, I'll secure my spot on the show, which it did. It worked.
It did.
But it's such a shame because I think she has a good storyline without Teresa. I think she is like a desirable housewife without Teresa. She's ruining it for herself being Teresa's minion, in my opinion.
I agree. I 100% agree.
I'm going to jump ahead here. Did you hear Teresa last night say, "You have nothing on me. There's no emails with my name"? Oh, maybe it was on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah, it was on Watch What Happens Live. She said there's no receipts.
There's no receipts. And all along, we were all saying that's because she has Jen doing her dirty work with the bloggers and everything.
Or Louis or Jim Leonard.
Yep.
But you know what? After she said that, I saw today on Up and Adam. That's one of the, I saw it on TikTok, but I do follow him on YouTube. He said there are receipts that just came out after her statement. I forget the person who put them out, but it is that she was looking for dirt on Michael Rappaport before the panel on BravoCon because he was doing
that.
Yes. So there are receipts out there, Teresa. So maybe you better watch what you say.
Exactly. And she's saying that she said there's no receipts on me, but there are about Margaret.
Right.
I haven't seen one damn thing on Margaret.
And you
Not
know
one
what?
thing.
You're calling Margaret's son's place of employment?
At that point, Bravo should have told Louis, we're done here.
We're not having you on anymore.
Exactly. You're
and it doesn't matter
our employees, family members. You are done.
It doesn't matter if it's already been filmed either, because do you remember that season of Below Deck where they pretty much wiped this guy out after a couple episodes?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who
Once
was
in
it?
a while, you'd see him in the background. There was a guy on Below Deck, and he had you could tell he was going to be one of the troublemakers standout. And then they found something he posted. It was pretty nasty years ago, but it was bad. And they re-edited the whole show to edit him out.
Yeah, they did.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
I remember, but I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they definitely could.
In a while in the background. So they
kept him on the boat, but they didn't really use him on the show.
They had to re-edit the show because this happened when it was airing, not when it was being filmed.
Right.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like what happened with New York when the new reboot of New York came out, and that one woman quit.
That's
so
right.
we kind of got that. Yeah, we got the weird beginning that didn't make any sense because they had filmed stuff with her that they just couldn't use any of it.
Yeah,
that's right. I forgot about that.
So yeah, they could have.
They can edit Louis out.
Yeah. Then what happens next? Okay, then it's actually the day of the New York Fashion Week with Danielle. So you could see she's like a little bit out of her element, a little bit starstruck, really excited. You know, the kids are kind of being kids, and she's just, she made it through it. She did a great job. I thought it was funny when she said something to that one kid who was like giving her a hard time.
She's like, smile.
Yeah.
You're at New York Fashion Week. Do you have any idea what this means?
Yeah.
Or I'll fart in your face. If you don't smile, I'm going to fart in your face.
I love Danielle. I think she is such a ray of sunshine on that show. Mm-hmm. She is just bougie. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love her. I love her husband. I love her kids. And
I like Nate.
You hear me say I like the kids. I don't like any kids on those shows. I love kids, not on my TV show. If I want to see kids, I'll go watch iCarly reruns.
Right.
So then Melissa shows up and she's sitting there next to Nate, and he's like, "Oh, have you ever done this before?" And she's like, "All my kids have been in New York Fashion Week." Mm-hmm. And she gave props to Danielle for doing this so early on in her career, to being asked to show and to end the show. Yeah. I mean, that's an even bigger deal. It's one thing to be asked to show, but then to end the show, that's amazing.
Yeah, now I was thinking about this. Did Envy ever have a show at New York Fashion Week? Probably not, because
it's a boutique. It's not her stuff. Like Bougie Kids are her designs.
That's her stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
She needs to get
exciting.
A posh fashion show.
No.
No.
My buddy Kim D.
So then Teresa and Louis and Rachel and John are talking about how they're going to meet up and kind of do like a sit down to try and resolve it. But then we see that Louis asks Pauly to ask John about the meetup. I thought
that was so weird.
The guy's got no balls. If you want to have a meetup with John Fuda, you don't send Pauly to ask him.
Exactly.
Which, again, leads me to believe maybe Pauly and Louis are from the same cloth.
But remember that Louis already reached out to him to meet up, and John said, no, if you want to talk to me at this event we're going to.
Well, that's true. Maybe that's why Louis was like, all right, let me try a different route.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're right, Wendy. Sour taste in my mouth about Pauly.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't want to see Delores with him long term.
Yeah, I don't see it anymore, quite honestly. You know what's interesting to me is how her kids get so attached to these people. You know, I forget what happened, and she's like, "Go ahead, Paul, call the kids." And I thought, they've literally been together like a year and a half. Like, is he really that close with her kids already?
Yeah.
Because
Well, I mean, I remember last week when they went to dinner, and it was just Delores and Frank and the kids, and she said they normally meet all of them go. Normally it's Pauly and Brittany, but they were busy. So I guess they've been having these family dinners for a year. You know, like that's what they
her
do.
Her son was her kids were also really close with David. Like, I just feel like, but I guess, you know what? I guess if you're in that space, like if you see your mom happy and you see your dad happy, you're just going to, and they seem like a good person, you're just going to embrace it and roll with it.
Does Frank still live with David?
No, because he's building the house.
But while they're filming right now, I think they are. I think he and Brittany are right now because they're building the house right now.
Where are they building the house?
Down the street.
Franklin Lakes, down the street from Melissa and Joe.
That's right. They did say that. Yeah.
Which isn't far from Rachel and John because the kids all go to school together.
Right. I wonder if Brittany wants kids.
Well, I'm sure Frank would know, but something tells me she doesn't.
Something tells me she doesn't too.
Maybe she has children. We don't know a lot about her.
We really don't. I feel like we'd know that by now.
Yeah.
But
you're right. We really don't.
You know.
I don't think they've spent any time on her, and I really wish they would bring her in as a housewife.
I agree.
Or even a friend of.
I totally agree. I think we need more Frank and Brittany.
And I found out, I dug this, I was doing a deep dive. I think I sent it to you, Kelly, that New Jersey is the only Real Housewife branch off that pays the husbands.
You didn't send that to me, but that's interesting because Wendy and I have had this conversation.
Yes.
New Jersey's the only one. That's the only Bravo show. And if you watch Married to Medicine, those men are on that show more than any housewife show, and they don't get paid.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's not the only Bravo show because I do know for a fact that Brock is getting paid on Vanderpump Rules, and
I think he's the only one. But he's the only one
because he's now a cast member. He didn't get a penny when he was on as her husband.
Right.
And obviously that's why he had a bigger role in storylines this year.
Right.
But we had this conversation because Frank Catania went on a podcast and said he doesn't get paid, which now this makes sense.
He's not
technically he's not a husband. But I thought I said it to Wendy. I'm like, that's crazy the way these guys are on this show.
Watch the intro. Frank is in Dolores's intro photo.
I saw that.
And Louis is not in Teresa's.
Is Pauly in Dolores's?
No.
Frank
is. I saw that and I thought that's odd.
I just noticed it this week.
Odd.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I wonder if maybe now Frank is getting paid and Pauly's not, since she's got two, right?
Wait a minute.
I hope Frank's getting paid.
Who was it? That's right. It was. I'm just thinking. Somebody said something, but that was Vanderpump when Ariana said. No, he didn't want to go to those things because he wasn't getting paid.
Right. It was Vanderpump. Yeah,
I don't blame her.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think we need to see more Brittany. Give her a friend role. Give her something because obviously she's close with Delores. Mm-hmm. And she has been friends with Rachel Fuda for years because Frank trained both of them in a fitness competition years ago. And that's how he met both of them. She fits in.
Right. She definitely fits in. She fits in.
Take Louis and Teresa out and put Frank and Brittany right in that spot.
How great would that be?
It would be such a fun show to watch.
It would be good, but I think we're going to get a total reboot. I think we're getting a reboot. But we'll have to wait and see. Either
way, I do think Teresa's gone. I do. I really do.
I hope so.
I do.
We'll have to wait and see. John Fuda agrees to go, but he says that he wants an apology for them calling him a drug dealer and, saying that he was a parking attendant and that was a bad thing.
And he was very clear on what he wanted.
Yes, he was.
If you want me to come, you have to do this.
Right. So then when Teresa and Louis are talking, Teresa says she thinks her and Louis both deserve an apology. But that was never brought to John Fuda's attention. That's just what she said. Okay, you could say whatever you want.
Right.
Right?
Right. And
she just pulled stuff out of her ass.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep. So then they meet up at RP Prime, and John and Rachel get there first. They order 2 shots of tequila, which I don't blame them.
I don't either. I would have said, bring me the bottle.
And then, Teresa and Louie walk in, and she puts the bottle over on the table. I thought it was champagne at first, but then they had said later on Watch What Happens Live it was tequila. And, oh, by the way, this is for my brother's housewarming. Okay, we find out about that on Watch What Happens Live, too. Make sure you bring that to him because Jackie told her about it. That's how she knew about it.
Okay, so let me just tell you, this is what Gabriella said today on the part 3 of the David Yontif. She reiterated that story, but she said that Joe Gorga kept the bottle and threw out the card. How did Joe Gorga get the present when the Fudas put it back on the bar?
No, they didn't.
They didn't put it back on. They walked out with it.
They put it on the bar to have.
They walked out with it. You saw them walk out with it.
Okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
No holes in Gabriella's story. Good.
Yeah, because I paid attention. I saw them walk out with it. I was like, okay, they did.
Good. I'm glad you guys saw that because I didn't. I saw them put it on the bar, and then when she said that today, I'm like, all right.
Yeah. So then after that, John says, listen, the only reason I'm sitting down today is because of your brother. I have a lot of respect for Joe. He's a good guy. And then Teresa brings up, well, I would hope you'd have respect. Louis says you have respect for me. Well, what does it matter what Louis says? I mean,
exactly. He's a fucking liar.
I guess she hasn't figured that out yet.
No, I guess not.
Teresa deserves this much respect.
Right.
And I used to be her biggest fan. I loved Teresa. I really did.
I have memories in my Facebook from when Melissa first came on the show, and Gina and I would comment to each other on Facebook about it. And we
really?
I saw that the other day. It came up
we did stick up for Teresa at first.
It was like 10 years ago. It was a long time ago.
Yep. We did stick up for Teresa at first. Because, we thought like Melissa was coming on with bad intentions.
Much like Teresa till she hooked up with Louis. I may not have liked her as much as I used to, but when Teresa and Melissa went on the Ultimate Girls trip, they were really trying to make a go of it, especially after her parents died. And the minute Louis came in, everything changed. Everything changed.
I just rewatched season 10 the other day when it was on, and they were all getting along so nice. Her and Joe went to Rails, of course, for lunch. They had appetizers and drinks, and it was such a good season.
Yeah.
Because they were all getting along. He ruined everything. He knew exactly what he was doing. His sister saw her down the shore. They called him. He came down. He sought her out. He hook, line, and sinkered her right in.
And
she fell for it.
Hear what their LLC is called?
No.
It happened on Bay Avenue.
Disgusting.
And Bay Avenue is the house where they met each other. Teresa and her friend were walking down the street, and Louis was walking out of his house, supposedly.
Oh, I think he was driving down the road.
Yeah.
That was in Tom's River or in Bayhead?
No, I don't think it was Tom's River. Her shore house was in right, what's the town right before you get into right before you go over the LBI bridge? My God, Beach Haven. Yeah. Beach Haven. Her shore house was in Beach Haven. So but last year her shore house was in Lavalette. I don't think she was ever really in Tom's River.
Oh, okay. No. I thought she was in Tom's River. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
her shore house was right outside of Long Beach Island.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Bay Avenue was where Louis was staying. That's where he walked out of the house.
Where was it though? Bay Avenue, which town?
I don't know.
We don't know. Okay.
I think it was near Joe's house because this was after Teresa had to sell her house and she was staying with her brother.
Oh, so that would have been Tom's River.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
and we know where all these places are.
Yeah,
we do. We do know where they are. So then John goes on to say, you took the information from a criminal who's in jail for manufacturing crystal meth. And then Teresa says, shh, I didn't want to say anything. It's Jaden's mom. He's like, no. God. this is Jaden's mom. And he points to Rachel.
Rachel said it. She goes, no, I'm Jaden's mom. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. It's like, come on, Teresa, get your shit together.
And what just by her doing that, like, shh, don't say that. Who the fuck are you protecting?
You're the one who got her in trouble.
Exactly.
Right.
You got that poor girl sent back to prison because she was communicating to you while she was in a sober living house, and that's not allowed. You did that.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're a lawyer, and stand-up citizen.
Yeah.
So then John says, listen, I came here for an apology. You need to apologize. And she didn't apologize.
Mm-mm.
So he's like, that's it.
But
We're
she
out.
said she apologized.
But she didn't.
I rewound it.
No, she didn't apologize.
No.
She said, I'm sorry if you thought I called you a drug dealer. Right. That's what she said. That's not an apology.
A present time. Yeah.
No, you did call him a drug dealer.
Yep.
It's not you thought. You did call him a drug dealer, whether it was present or past. And like Rachel said, what were your intentions?
Right.
Right? That's not an apology.
No.
It's not an apology. And he made it clear that's what needed to happen. And they weren't willing to do that. So.
Right.
But I did think it was interesting that he brought up that information about his ex, how they had, she had pulled his steering wheel while they were driving right across the street. And he ran into, we didn't know any of that.
No, we did not.
I mean, that was kind of a bombshell.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me, but
No, and that's the thing. They must have had a very volatile relationship, he and her, the ex.
Yep.
And of course she's going to sing. And who knows what this slime bag Jim Leonard might have promised her. Yep.
Right.
Money or some kind of legal representation to get her back on her feet. They could have promised her anything, this girl, and she fell for it. And now look, she's back in jail because of them.
Yeah.
James J. Leonard.
So he wasn't her attorney when she went in front of the judge for the charges for the
No, he became her attorney after she was sentenced.
Okay.
Because he was there after she was sentenced. He was there while she was in jail. He was the one who was always showing up.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't
really
think he's
told her she got a bad deal or whatever. But yeah.
So John says, I'm out. Teresa says, bye, John Fugazy. And then John says, you're the poster child for mortgage fraud. And then that's pretty much it.
And like he said, I did a crime, sold marijuana, which is now legal, when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I committed mortgage fraud as an adult.
Right.
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 Yeah.
Whether you say you knew what was going on or not.
Right.
If your husband's handing you $100K cash to go buy furniture.
Right.
You might want to ask him where he got that money from.
Yeah.
You might want to ask him.
I just so remember her saying when she was building that new house, it skeeves me to sit on somebody else's toilet.
Yeah. Meanwhile, she must have been living in some kind of house because Danielle Staub said it at one of the reunions. I saw your house before you moved into that house. It must have been. Oh, they did?
Yeah, in season 1 they showed it. It was like a bi-level. It was nothing.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember it either.
One, yeah.
I'm going to go back and look it up, though. Best believe.
So then we get to Watch What Happens Live. And this is why we have Louie. Here it is right here. It is her 43rd appearance on the show. 43rd appearance. She's the most appeared housewife on Watch What Happens Live ever. And it's probably by a landslide if it's 43 times in 15 years.
She's probably, at this point, with now Vicky gone, the longest running housewife, period. Right?
No, Candy is because Teresa had that break where she went to jail.
But they didn't film.
But they didn't film without her. And
no,
think about it.
But I'm just saying,
it was OC.
I heard them say that at, I don't know if it was at BravoCon or something.
But it was OC, New York, and then New Jersey. Isn't that the sequence of housewives that got released? New Jersey came out before Beverly Hills.
Atlanta was before New Jersey, I thought.
No.
I don't think so.
I thought it was OC, New York, Atlanta, New Jersey.
I'm going to look it up.
Okay, look it up.
Because I think she's the longest running housewife right now.
She might be now, because and Candy's leaving. And Candy wasn't on the first season either.
She came in season 3.
Yeah.
And they're filming Atlanta right now.
Right. I can't believe my girl Soirée is gone.
I know. She'll be back, though. I mean, she goes and comes all the time.
She does. She does.
Somebody's going to say no. I want me some She by Soirée.
You know what? I think you must be right, Gina. Damn.
It was Georgia?
It was OC
Atlanta?
2006. New York and Atlanta came out in 2008, and New Jersey was 2009.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I still do think that Teresa's longer because Candy came on in season 3.
Yep.
Because you figure Teresa came on in 2009. Candy must not have come on until 2011. But you're right. Atlanta started before Jersey. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills didn't come out until 2010.
You know, to me, the first couple of Real Housewives franchises were the best in the first season because nobody knew anything. Nobody knew, especially OC. They were like a deer caught in the headlight. New York, same way. You know?
Yeah.
And you have to, they didn't know some people don't know what they're filming. If you ever watched the first season of Potomac, they were told they were filming a show about etiquette.
Yep.
And that's why, if you pay attention, you'll hear the Grand Dame, giving everybody etiquette lessons through the whole season. And that was why they had no idea it was Real Housewives.
I remember that. And OC, it was just their neighbor who got this crazy idea to film their lives. And we made Lori watch the first episode with us when we first started talking about doing a podcast. They never filmed with each other the whole first episode, except the very last scene. Joe goes to the tennis club and Kim's there. Kim, the one who left after the first season because she had skin cancer and they moved back to... Yeah. That was the only scene they filmed together. Meanwhile, Vicky and Gina were very good friends. Vicky and Lori Peterson filmed together because Lori worked for her.
Yeah.
Right.
But I remember hearing that they put something up in a local penny saver paper, and it was actually Vicky's son.
Yeah.
Who got his friends together, and they were sending in sizzle reels, and then they came back and asked for more with his mom.
Yes. So really, Vicky really did start the Housewives.
I don't like
She was there way before Andy Cohen was there.
That. Yeah, I got to give her credit for that.
Absolutely. She was there before Andy Cohen was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Mm-hmm.
She was. So then what happens? So then Andy asks Teresa, what are her thoughts that there's not going to be a reunion this season? And she says that she feels like she said everything that she needs to say, that she has nothing else to say. And they both agreed that the season finale, that we'll all feel the same way, that there's no need for a reunion. So we'll have to wait and see.
Way of saving money because those girls get major bucks for those reunions. I heard like $200,000 or something.
No, they don't get that much for a reunion.
No. That's wrong. Hold on.
I don't think so. I don't think they're getting that much.
Huge amount of money that they got. A lot more than they got for the regular season.
Yeah. Well, you're stuck there all friggin' day.
Yeah, Lisa Vanderpump was the one talking about it.
Well, maybe it depends on how many episodes they get out of it. Because that's how they normally get paid, is by episode, right?
Yeah.
So if you get 3 episodes, you're going to get more than if you only get 2 episodes.
Yep.
Right? Then they ask if her apology was genuine. And she says yes, but she wanted an apology herself. But she didn't apologize. It was an apology for if you thought I called you a drug dealer. You did. And then Andy was doing some of his questions. Will Teresa and Jackie's friendship last? Teresa says yes. I mean, the audience's reaction was no.
No, by a landslide.
Then one of the callers asks Teresa what the reason was that she wanted to give the bottle of tequila to Joe. And she says that was her husband's doing. That was Louis that wanted to give the bottle of tequila to her brother.
I don't buy it.
Well,
I buy
what Gabriella
it.
said today. But Gabriella said today that it was Jim Leonard's idea because Jim Leonard thought that he would throw it in the garbage and it would make Joe look like an asshole.
There you go. Well, she couldn't say that, obviously, on Watch What Happens Live.
Right.
She couldn't say it's Jim Leonard's idea.
Did you notice they didn't introduce Louis from the audience last night? I did notice that once.
At the end, a little bit into it, he's like, and Louis here.
Oh, I didn't hear him say that.
Yeah, he did. He had already started talking, though. It was kind of like, oh, I forgot. Oh, Louis here.
It was definitely an afterthought, and it was way into the episode. He definitely did not introduce him.
No, he didn't. And then the other thing I have from the Watch What Happens Live that I wrote down is that she has a new podcast that she's launching this Wednesday called Turning the Tables.
Enough with the fucking tables, man.
Yeah.
Enough with the tables.
And
Who's
then
she doing
July
that with, Louis?
Well, it didn't say. We don't know. And then July 16th, 2009 was Andy Cohen's very first Watch What Happens Live. And it happened to be with Danielle Staub.
I remember that.
How funny is that?
Remember she did the duet with her lesbian lover at the time?
Well, that wasn't that episode.
It wasn't?
No, that was later. That was later.
That was it.
No.
Okay.
That was later.
It's fun to watch.
That's how it debuted.
It's so much fun to watch Andy age.
I agree.
And how the set has changed in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
They had a big party in New York this week for the 15th anniversary. Yeah. And I guess there's going to be a big show. And that's where Teresa found out that she was and I didn't know the number at the time, but that she was the guest that had appeared the most times on Watch What Happens Live.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I wonder what Bethany's number was before she started the reckoning. Because she used to appear a lot too.
Even when she wasn't on the show, he would have her on.
Yeah, no. She was friends. I mean, they were in good graces for a very long time until the reality reckoning.
That must really have hurt. Something had to have happened with the two of them for her to turn on him like that. Because I don't know. They were really good friends and would go out to dinner and that type of thing.
Yeah.
But I never liked Bethany from when she was on Celebrity Apprentice. Or not Celebrity, the first Apprentice.
The Martha Stewart one.
No.
She was on Martha Stewart.
No, this was before that. The first season of The Apprentice, when that Bill Rancic one.
Yeah.
She was on. She was on.
She was?
She was
on. No, because that wasn't the first season when
she wasn't a celebrity.
Yeah, no.
Just called The Apprentice, and she was on. And she was trying to be a private chef. And that's how I knew her, because when I saw Real Housewives, I'm like, oh, that's that chick from The Apprentice. Yeah, look it up. Listen, I can't tell you what I ate for lunch today, but I know going back like that. She was on the first season of The Apprentice. Yeah.
I think it was the Martha Stewart one, because she references it all the time. And then when she met Martha Stewart.
No. Google it, Kel.
All right, we'll look it up. Yeah.
Okay. I've always liked Bethany. I've always been a Bethany fan. I like her quick wit. I like her New York attitude. I like her no nonsense. She's unapologetic. I've always liked Bethany. And
the only season I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's all right. I stand by it. I still like her.
The only season I liked her was the season when Luann came out of rehab. And remember, tell me it's not Tom. Yes, it's Tom.
Yeah.
That season I liked her.
I gotta be honest, I wasn't a huge fan in the beginning, but when I started liking her is when Jill fucking turned on her. When Jill found out that Bethany was getting the spinoffs and started telling people, don't film with her, cut her out, ice her out, that's when I was like, holy shit. Like, we never saw anything like that on TV before, No. And that's when I started hating Jill. And I still do to this day. Well, hate's a strong word. I strongly dislike Jill. I can't stand her.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The only one from that group that I dislike more is Ramona. I dislike Ramona because she acts stupid. And she's always apologizing for saying stupid things. But that's her. That's her. That's who she is. She is.
Her last season was a bad look for her.
Oh my God, I don't know how she survived.
The racist stuff. And I don't think Ramona's a racist. I liked them too. Good. Leanne was crazy as the day is long.
I liked Leanne. You know, what was she talking about? That these are weapons?
Yeah. Now, they got rid of her, right? They got rid of Leanne before they canceled the show.
Yes. Remember.
Yes,
now,
because she was saying
her?
racist things.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why
she was saying racist things. Remember when they were on that trip? When they were going to like the brothel and the where did they go on the trip to? She was saying racist things.
Oh, you're right. They went to like a burlesque show.
Yes.
They went to like a burlesque show, and she did say racist comments. That's why.
You ladies know who Bolo is?
Of course we know who Bolo is.
We remember Bolo.
Is it a TV show?
What?
Wait, what show?
Oh, gee, that's a stretch for him.
Guess who else is in it? Guess who else is in it?
Who?
Eva Marcel.
What show is it?
I'll text you later. It's a show that was on, I think, BET, Amazon, or Hulu, or one of them just picked up. So I didn't know about it. And I can tell you right now, because I texted my girlfriend. I'm like, did you ever see this show? She goes, yeah, I watched all 3 seasons.
Yeah, tell me. I'll definitely watch that.
Hold on. It's called All the Queen's Men, and it's on Amazon. But they only have seasons 1 and 2. I don't think I'm going to be able to go with more than 2 seasons because the acting is so bad.
It's terrible.
It's so
those
bad.
Networks, God bless them. The acting is awful.
Oh, because it's Eva Marcel owns a strip club, and she's got male dancers, and Bolo is one of them. But Bolo's not even the best looking one.
I like the premise. I'm here for it.
I do too. For research purposes, I'll definitely have to watch it.
We're going to have to do what we have to do.
Male frontal nudity, ladies. I'm just warning you. I don't want you to get upset. My arm.
So I won't ask Eric to watch that with me.
See my arm?
Yeah.
No, don't ask Eric. You got to watch that one by yourself.
Yeah.
But
keep him out.
I couldn't believe it. With the first episode, the credits, I'm like, Bolo? Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's funny because that's not even his real name. I guess that's what he's
they
using,
tell you
though.
his whole name there. His last name has Bolo in it, I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Funny.
All right, I think that's it for this week. Until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Wine Whenever.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
I really don't.
I do.
I don't think she is.
No. I think she's got a big white hood in her closet. Yeah. Telling you.
That season was a bad season. That was a bad look for her, man.
And I think that's the real Ramona.
And she did not do damage control like she probably should have.
She just says, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She goes and apologizes. That's why they didn't have a reunion, because they were doing an investigation. And then once the investigation was concluded, it was too late. Nobody gave a shit anymore. They were trying to film during COVID. That was the problem.
Yes.
Yeah, but come on. Bravo still put her on Ultimate Girls Trip after that happened.
Absolutely.
So, you know what? She was good for ratings. Like, Bravo was still making their money off of her.
Bravo don't give a fuck.
They don't.
They just want,
They don't.
That's
and
why
the
they got
reason
Louis
is,
on the
why
show.
do we watch these shows? We're not watching these shows to see everybody get along, because I know I would tune out. I'm not looking to watch an episode of Friends. I'm looking to see train wrecks. I want your life to be worse than mine, so I feel good about my life.
Well, that's true.
Well, that's not necessarily the reason I watch it. I watch it because I feel like it's called mindless entertainment to me.
Yep.
And I do like to see the touching family scenes. I do like those. I don't need them to be fighting all the time and arguing over stupid stuff. I do like to see I like the kids. I like to see the interactions with the parents, because I find that myself personally, I find that endearing.
I think that we can I feel like the drama on every other franchise is like just enough, just enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Jersey's just gotten so dark and toxic and manipulative. Like, it's just gone down a bad path. But the other reboots or whatever you want to call it, like Atlanta, like, I think that it's just time to mix it up. Like Potomac, they had to mix Potomac up. It didn't get dark or toxic. It just wasn't working anymore.
There was physical violence on that show on Potomac.
Oh, you're right. That's right. At the end of the season. That's right. There was. But there wasn't like this behind the scenes of threats and digging up dirt. Like, people aren't doing that on other franchises.
I think they just do it. They don't talk about it if they're going to do something, But
it would be brought out. I mean, what came out about Potomac? Karen got a DUI. I mean, shit, that's legal records. That's going to come out.
I can't stand her.
The Grand Dame?
I do not like her. I try to like her, but I can't.
I like
and
them.
I am so upset that Robin and Candy Ass are not coming back.
Oh my God, I can't stand Robin.
I can't stand Robin. I'm so glad she's gone. But I'm pissed about Candace. I love Candace. Nobody reads like Candace.
I think Candace did it herself. I think it was her that bowed out.
I think she quit.
She's pregnant, so she's
pregnant.
Yeah, she doesn't need this.
Maybe she'll come back, but
I don't think her singing career is at the point where she could give up that paycheck. And her husband, I mean,
her mother's loaded. Her mother's loaded.
Yeah, but still, her mother's still alive, and she doesn't want to be beholden to her mother. Her mother's a whack job.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom's got some shit to work out for sure.
Yeah, especially
for sure.
That just goes to prove that there's a lot of crazy people as therapists.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what she does.
Yeah. She's a family therapist. And she's hitting her daughter over the head with a handbag.
We all have our weak moments. I wonder how Mama D's doing on Dallas. Was that what they called her, Mama D?
Yeah. You know what? I follow
She was another
her
crazy
daughter.
one.
I don't see much of the Dallas crew on social media right now.
I miss Dallas.
I
think
miss
they're going
Dallas
to reboot
too.
it like they did Miami.
I liked Brandy, and I liked Stephanie and Brandy. I mean, I still follow Stephanie on Instagram. I love seeing her kids. I love seeing Travis. Like, I like those guys.